Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations 2017. I'm Athena Turk, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2017. Welcome to my YouTube channel or live on Facebook in Athena's Creations. Tonight I'm featuring a couple of stamp sets and this bundle slash suite with all the things. I've got a fun box to share with you because let's face it, when we make all of our gorgeous cards, we need a nice place on our desk so that they're very easily accessible later. And I'm going to show you exactly how to cut and score and how easy it is to replicate this box. A couple years back, maybe 3 years now, I made my first box like that. And it had a bunch of cards in it that were featured at the time. I also have some swaps that I'm going to share with you. I participated in a local demonstrator fun fold swap, and you all know I love fun folds, and so I'm going to share that with you tonight as well. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll show you all the fun things. Bear with me as I bring this down. There we go. Get some light here. Oh, I see what I did. Hold on. Hopefully you can't hear. My husband's actually in the living room watching the Tour de France. I've been watching a little of it myself. It's just too hot here right now where we're at to be outside for too long. So I find myself crafting quite a bit. Let me try one more thing. Let's see. Hopefully this will do it. This tripod's great, but every week I feel like I'm fiddling with it. If there is anybody out there that knows how to edit once you've gotten a Facebook Live and saved it and shared it to YouTube, please reach out. I would love the help. Because while I'm adjusting the tripod here, I would love to be able to not have that in the video for you. But again, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, I've been playing with the Charming Day, and the paper is absolutely gorgeous. And so the fun folds really show it off. And then in the back of our catalog, we've got the Sharing, Loving, Crafting, which has all the great sentiments, Stamping Up, handcrafted by, happiness inside, all the fun things. And so I'm going to use a little bit of that one and share with you this wonderful box, sharing what I love, loving what I do, and some tips and tricks, and then using the die set from our Paper Pumpkin add-on. Hey Sherry, thanks for joining tonight. You're in for a treat because we are going to do the box first. I had made this one a couple of years back, maybe even 3 years ago, when we had that fun little suite back then. Really, really cute, that evening evergreen, beautiful color. And we're going to update it and use the beautiful paper. First, I want to share with you the fun folds that I participated in with some other amazing demonstrators, and I love a good fun fold. Now, this is from my downline Barb. This one is fabulous. I think one of my older Paper Pumpkins, which by now has probably been deleted from Facebook because they've changed the rules and all of that, but I had done a Paper Pumpkin alternative doing this fun fold. This one's absolutely gorgeous. She did an amazing job with this one. I don't know all the names of the fun folds, but there are a bunch out there. And then this one, I think it's called the Storybook Fold, and it kind of props up like this. Isn't that beautiful? Charlotte made this one. So I'm going to have to figure out some measurements on all of these so that I can replicate some of these. They're amazing. Now this one, I really don't know if it's a flip-flap type card. Melissa made this one. Very elegant. Lots and lots of fun. A lot of detail. And there's that amazing embossing folder. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, she showed me the template and it looks complicated, but it's not. I'll figure it out and share that one. And then this one is a swap from Linda. Love the detail of this one. I think it's a type of gatefold, I think. Again, there's so many names out there for fun folds. you can say fun fold, and that pretty much covers your bases, right? Oh, I just love how all of these stand up. And then this one was from Tracy. And this is another fold that kind of wows you. It just like pops right open. Isn't that cool? I have no idea what this fold is called, but I'm loving all the details, all the folds on these. And then this one is made and designed by, I just drew a blank. Goodness gracious. She was here in person, Chandra. Look at this fun fold. Now this one I love. Hey Donna, I'm so glad you could join us tonight. Look at that fun fold. Oh my stars. Now I like that one. I saw another card very similar to this one. I thought, I wonder how they did that. Well, now I can figure it out and come up with my own design. And then this was my fun fold using the Wink of Stella. Hopefully I won't forget that tonight. Sometimes I forget to put the embellishments. I get so excited. But this one, it shows off this gorgeous designer paper. It's absolutely gorgeous paper. And I did do some pre-cutting and stamping and things like that just to move it along. But I do want to start from scratch with a couple of these just because there's, I want to show you how easy it is, basically. And then, of course, I got some brand new dies. And I don't know about you, but when I get dies and I start to play with them, I kind of get all kinds of ideas popping up in my head. And this is definitely one of those. This is the Everyday Arches dies. It's been out since, I think, March for the online exclusives. And I have seen some amazing designs with this one. And I was very excited to come up with my own fun fold using that die set. And this is what I came up with. And again, it's super simple, super easy. Again, showing off that gorgeous paper. And I love Blackberry Bliss. It is one of my favorites. Now, my husband is a great critique. He was a printer for 30 years. And I asked him, this kind of feels like it needs something. What do you think it needs? And he said maybe some kind of a saying here and maybe adhere that one down so that it would just be like that. I don't know. I haven't decided. But there's plenty of room to write, which kind of opens up ideas for 3D items that I've started on. And hopefully we'll share that one with you next week. But first, let's get our paper trimmer out because I want to show you how easy it is to cut this cardstock and put this little box together. Because when we're done with our cards tonight, they're going to all fit right inside. So it's on the corner of your desk, very easy. You need a card, it's right there. And then, of course, all the tips and tricks and things. Now, this is the new, let's see, what do we call these? They're the Paper Pumpkin add-ons. And I used that one, which is the Hugs a Bloom. And this is the brand new one. Okay, so this is going to go for the July, is that right? Yes, July, August, and September. Maybe I said that wrong. I can't remember. Anyway, Circle of Season dies. So we've got the strawberry. And then if you take this one out and you add this one, you've got a little acorn. Hello. I mean, this is amazing. So I'm using that die cut for this fun one. And then we're using this die cut. So just want to make sure I give you all the tips on what we're doing. Lots of different dies that we're using. We're using the dies from the Bloom, Impressions on Bloom, and then we're also using the dies that, I forget what they're called, but there's so many fun names to all of these. Oh, it's right here on my desk. It's the Nested Essentials. I use this one quite a lot. But like I said, with those, I'm kind of coming up with some designs. This is just a rugged first go at it. Little like a box. And I've seen some really cool designs out there that it's like a box that opens, but mine's going to stand up so that you can have some fun treats. So I'm thinking ahead to the mini catalog, which if you're a demonstrator, you get to see that next Wednesday. I'm so excited. I just know there's going to be some must-haves in there. Every year I have some that I see and I'm like, oh, I need to have that one. And my husband's like, you mean it's already ordered? And I said, no, not yet, silly. but he knows me very well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if these directions are going to be very helpful, but I do have a template, and I definitely want to share that with you. Like I said, I've got some pre-cut things and some instructions. Basically, the DSP is 3 7/8 by 4 3/8, and you'll need 2 pieces of those. And I'm going to cut that one with you so that you can see that when you have directional paper, you want to be aware of that when you're cutting. And so we're going to do that together. And then here is my beautiful Blackberry Bliss, which I have 3 sheets left. So I'm definitely going to have to place an order, and Stampin' Up! Has their free shipping yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So if you need to get some kind of order in and it's less than 75, reach out. I'll add it to mine. But we need to get those orders in tomorrow at 75 or more. But think about this: if you're not a demonstrator, you're basically leaving some money on the table. How? Well, when you sign up to become a demonstrator, you pick out 125 product of your choice. It could be anything from supplies, cardstock, blends. It could be the clearance rack. It could be whatever you want that's available online. And then you get free shipping. And you only pay $99 plus tax. So you get more bang for your buck basically when you do that. So just keep that in mind. But yes, free shipping. Got to take advantage of that. Now this leaf, I used the new, it's new to us this year, I do believe, 2-tone cardstock. I'm really, really enjoying that feature of the new cardstock. I'm loving it. So for this flower and then for this die cut, we're going to cut it and extend it, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And we've got our punch, the new punch that came out in the new catalog. It's the 1 7/8 punch, circle punch, that's going to punch out this Thanks for You. We've got some beautiful new bling that's in the catalog, Regal foiled adhesive back dots. And I think what I want to do is clear all of this off. We're going to cut our cardstock together, and then we're going to cut our designer paper, and then we'll start to assemble everything. And like I said, I normally have all of this prepped, but sometimes I think it helps to show you how easy it is. So if you have some cardstock and beautiful paper, go ahead and get that out along with your paper trimmer. And then after this box, we have 3 or 4. Let's see, how many are there? 3, yeah. 4. 4 beautiful cards that are fun folds that we're going to make that will fit in that box. Now, at first look or first glance, it might be a little confusing. But for me, I like to have a template so that when I go to make a box later, I have all of the directions and it's simplified for me. Sometimes I read directions and I'm thinking, okay, so which side am I going to score the 1.5? Is it on the 9.5 side? Is it on the opposite side? Which is it? So we're going to start with our cardstock, and we'll bring back in our DSP in just a moment. And then we're going to extend our arm because we have a 9.5 measurement. All right, so our cardstock is 9.5 by 7.5. Now the cardstock, you just want to figure out the dimension for the cardstock. It's 8.5 this way. So that's the part where I'm going to cut down to 7.5. And then the 11-inch side, the longer side, we're going to cut that one down to 9.5, okay? Before I figured out those basic simplified measurements, I wasted so much paper trying to figure out, okay, which side do I cut the 9.5? Well, the 8.5, you can't do that. So obviously you're going to have to turn it to the 11-inch side to cut that one. But first, let's cut on the 8.5-inch side. We're going to cut that to 7.5. I certainly hope I'm not confusing anybody. I always like to double check my measurements twice and then cut once. All right, 7.5. Then I'm going to turn it on the 11-inch side, and we're going to put it all the way at the top to 9.5. And then at 9.5, we're going to cut that. So we've got these 2 pieces that we can use for something later. And since I'm low on my beautiful blackberry bliss, I definitely want to be careful with that. All right, so now we have it on the 9.5 inch side. So we're going to start there. At the 9.5 inch side, we're going to score it. And I have the little sticky notes here to help remind me. And the lines that I drew in bright pink. We're going to score it first at 4 inches and then again and then score it at 5.5. So let's start on our 9.5 inch side of cardstock, and we're going to score it at 4 inches. Double check that one twice. My score is at the bottom and my cutter's at the top, whatever makes sense to you. I highly recommend figuring that out ahead of time. I've done projects in the past and cut when I should have scored, and oh, what a mess. But it happens, so don't beat yourself up if that happens to you, because it's one of those things that will happen until you figure out where your score and your cutting blade is. So we've scored at 4 inches. Now we're going to go down to the 5.5. And again, I just want to double check my measurements and scored. All right, so we've scored at 4 inches and we've scored at 5.5. So now we're going to turn our cardstock. That looks weird, but yep, that's right. At the 7.5 inch side. And for the 7.5 inch side, which is this direction, we're going to score it at 1.5 inches on each side. So the 1 goes up to here. So I'm going to score it this direction. 1.5. And there's the 1.5, and it goes all the way down. Score it. And then we're going to turn it to the other side and score it again at 1.5. And you always, when you're doing this, just make sure it's all the way down. 1.5. Double check those measurements. And we're going to score it again, just like that. And that is all of the scoring for now, and we'll do our trimming and cutting and all of that in just a moment. But while we have our trimmer out, let's go ahead and cut our designer series paper. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. So here is the box, the template. We're going to cut 2 pieces at 3 7/8 by 4 3/8. And since this is directional paper, we're going to cut it first this direction. And I always like to, even though I know the measurement, I always like to double check with my handy ruler. Pardon me. And so we have 3 7/8. Sorry about that. Someone was trying to call me. I guess I should put on airport mode or something. So that's like 4 inches back 2. Okay, so that's basically 3 7/8. So we're going to go ahead and cut 3 7/8. And all right, just double check that 3 7/8, the top and the bottom, and then we just do 1 cut. Then the other side of the box is 4 3/8. Okay. 4 3/8. And that is like 4.5 back 2 of those tick marks. Okay. We're going to need 2 of those. So there's 4.5 back 2 is 4 3/8. 4 3/8. And then you've got this nice little piece later that you can do all kinds of fun things. You can do a hole punch, a die cut piece, you can stamp on it, all kinds of fun things that you can do with that. So keep that one for a project later. So we've got our 2 pieces of designer series paper. Pardon me. 3 7/8 by 4 3/8. I'm going to set that off to the side, and we're done with our trimmer. And we're going to get our cutting scissors out. My Stampin' Up! Trimmer, or my Stampin' Up! Scissors is so sharp and wonderful. I use it for ribbon only. And unfortunately, the manufacturer that makes these no longer makes them or is in business. I don't recall exactly what the information was that was shared, but hopefully you have a pair of those sharp scissors. Meanwhile, my paper cutters and all, this is the generic one that I use. So now we're going to get this out, and we're going to cut up to the score line on both sides, just like that. At first glance, it kind of looks like it's off, but it's not. It's fine. Just trim up to that score line. On each side. My template is in white so that you can see all of the marks. We're going to go ahead and fold all of the score lines. There we go. Gorgeous. Now, I'm going to get my tear and tape, which is great when you have 3D projects like this. I'm going to have the tear and tape both sides right there. Oops, I forgot to burnish that one. Before I start to put it together, I just want to kind of eyeball how this is going to go together. It's going to go just like that. And then this one's going to go just like that. So I'm going to need tear and tape right here as well. So I'm going to do 2 strips. On both sides. Alrighty. And we're going to do one at a time. I tried to take them all off before, and well, it was kind of a disaster before, so we're not going to do that. We're going to just do one at a time. Like that. Now let's do this one. And find that corner there. And next we're going to do one side and then the other. Take your pick tool. Is Essential Crafter's tool. I think that it's on low inventory currently. A lot of people, I think, are taking advantage of the free shipping. It's a good time to stock up on some of the essentials. All right, so we're going to do this other side. See how easy this box is to make? Just a piece of cardstock, a few cuts, a few scores, and little tear and tape, and we got us a box to hold our beautiful cards in. All right, so where it came together, this is going to be the back, and this will be the front. Although I did decorate both sides, so it should be all good. Love how that tear and tape comes together. So next, we're going to put our designer paper on. Now, I don't know if you want to take a screenshot. If you're part of our Facebook group, just know that I will have all the templates and all the measurements and everything ready for you. You can see I kind of messed up before. That's why it was important for me to write on here all of the measurements, because somehow I got it wrong. But anyway, All right, so this is not too terribly tricky, but it's something that you just want to be aware of when you're adding your adhesive. Before you put it on your box, just make sure, because this paper is directional, you want to make sure that you're putting it the correct direction. Just like that. Now you could do tear and tape if you don't want to take a chance, because the Stampin' Seal is great too on 3D projects. You could totally do the tear and tape and then do like I did, just a little bit at a time. Hope I don't regret this part here, because I just kind of add that adhesive and it's very sticky. But I love that this shows off this gorgeous paper. Really, really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to bring in all of these little elements that I set aside. And oh, here we go. For a minute there, I couldn't find where I put them all. So we're going to do a little stamping, a little punching, and then we're going to extend a few things. Let's see. This is the front. So we'll do the front first. Thanks for being you. Happiness inside. That's a good one. Again, from this Sharing, Loving, Crafting. Handcrafted by, just to brighten your day. Crafted with you in mind. But I like this one too. You could also do you made my day. Decisions, right? And we're going to use that beautiful Blackberry Bliss. Let's see where it's, oh, here we go. Sharing what I love. So we're going to go ahead and do our stamping, and then we'll punch and start to assemble. So tap, tap, tap. Give it a couple of seconds for the ink to soak in. And then circles I love, because you don't have to worry about if it's a square or a rectangle, lining it up, making sure it's in the perfect position. And then you just push down. Isn't that beautiful? One of my favorite colors. So pretty. Okay. Alrighty, so next we're going to, this one goes on the back. We're going to go ahead and cut this die cut piece. And so this is one of the dies that gives it die cuts it, and it gives the impression of the flower, which is really pretty. And this is connected right here. So that's where I decided to cut so that I could extend at the top. And then the part where I cut, you won't be able to see because the sentiment is going to be covering that up. So let's get our, let's see. I said 1 7/8, but I think I misspoke earlier. It's the 1.5 inch punch. It's the smaller one. The 1 7/8 is the newest to the catalog, but this one, I like to use it my little pieces of scraps, and this is the great, perfect way to do so. This was the 1.5 circle punch. And we're just going to put that one in the middle. Isn't that pretty? I just love the add-ons that we have access to as Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so this one, Pardon, we're gonna put that one up on dimensionals. Two would have sufficed, but you know. Next, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back. I'm almost out. And then what? Oh dear, I don't know. Okay. I'm going to add this one here. I'm going to show you a trick here in a minute too. So, yeah, this one, just add a little bit of adhesive. And the trick I'm going to share is my take your pick tool and glue dots. So glue dots to me help hold things down that otherwise didn't get adhesive. Sometimes if something's sticking up in a card, I'll do the same thing. Make sure that this one doesn't move because it's delicate. I think one more down here. I think that'll work. All right, so next, we're going to go ahead and put our sentiment. I kind of foresee doing this with whenever the new mini catalog comes out. I foresee doing that. Fun box. So this one, because it's so delicate, I'm going to add the glue dots. And since it's on dimensionals, we can work this one in, just like that. And then we're going to finish off this side with some of these gorgeous embellishments. I love embellishments. Absolutely love embellishments. And these are Regal colors, so not entirely sure. But I want to say that's Blackberry Bliss and maybe Flirty Flamingo, possibly. It's just so pretty. You know me, I love my bling. All right, so that's the front. Now we've got the back. And again, another little trick, because we want to extend this, right? So let me get my trimmer out because there's a secret. Because I'm going to trim it right down the middle. And so when you have any die like that, you can measure, okay, so it's 2.5. So 1 1/4, is that? Or one, no, 1.5 is not, it's 1 1/4. Because it's 2.5. I don't think I wrote that measurement down. I should have, but. And then you just basically cut it right in half. Just like that. And then this is going to go right on top. So what I'm going to do is just put the tiniest little layer of adhesive right there. And then where I want the circle to go, right on top. Same thing. A little bit of adhesive right there. And I'm going to line this up, basically eyeballing it. And that's what it looks like on the back. And we're going to use dimensionals, of course. Probably ought to do 4, just because. So if you guys ever decide to do any of these projects that I share, I would love for you to share them in our Facebook group and inspire others to join in the creativity. Isn't that fun? Oh, I'm so excited. So when we get our cards done, we're going to put them inside the box. Isn't that cool? That would be so fun to gift to somebody too. If you have a relative that, you know, maybe you're not very close to or you don't know how to shop for them, everybody could use a card, right? And I think our cards are better than Hallmark, to be honest. I really do. Stampin' Up! Has all the supplies you need in one stop shopping. Everything coordinates beautifully. So if you have any little pieces that are stray that you want to put down flat, this is what I would recommend doing. Maybe there, oh, there's one up there, I think. That was my original one. But I love glue dots because this is a great fix for that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next card, or the first card actually. And that's my card that I had made. And I have a template for it. And that's the thing about templates that I absolutely love. I know I've shared that before, but for me, when I get a new stamp set or bundle, I think, okay, or paper pumpkin, what fun fold can I use that would really enhance the card? And this is one of my favorites. So the card base is 5.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then your inside piece is 5 1/4 by 4. And then your strips of designer paper. I did pre-cut this one. It's basically 5 1/4, and then you have 4, 5, 6. So if you have 5 1/4 by 6 inches, then you'll cut it at 1 inch, and then the next one you're going to cut at 4, which will leave you with a 1 inch piece for the inside. That's the easy explanation on what I should have done that I realized I don't think I did. And then my original is right here. And I used blends, which are all right here, so don't make sure I use them here. And then we've got our Happy Birthday that we are going to use, Blackberry Bliss, all from the Charming Day set. Okay, and then I've got these little guys already, those little flat adhesives. And see, all these cards are just so pretty, and then you fit right in there. So it's on the corner of your desk, all your cards. It's awesome. Just like that. Okay. So let's do our stamping, and then I'll show you some coloring with the blends. And believe it or not, I have a pair, and maybe it's these, that I'm going to have to order and replace, because I've had the blends for, well, 5, 6 years maybe, a long time. And believe it or not, they dry up, they get used, or a technique, and you'll see the status of them. It's like, okay, it's time to order another one. Replace it. All right, so this one, of course, we're going to put on dimensionals. Now, I've gotten to that point where, and I cannot believe early in my stamping craftiness that I ever threw this part away, because, well, we can still use it. And I just do a little trim like that, and then we've got our dimensionals ready to go. Still a little bit left. All right. So let's go ahead. This is 5.5 by 5.5. And then we've got the score line there. And the designer paper is 5 1/4 by 6 inches. And then you're going to cut it at 1 inch, 4 inches, and then it'll leave you with 1 inch strip. So we're going to go ahead and put this strip on, just like that. I think I did a Christmas card with this fold before. I thought I had it on my desk, but I don't see it right offhand. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our white piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Do a center on that one. The reason we do this one first is because we want to make sure this one is going to be flush, meaning it's going to be the same 5 1/4 right on top. Okay. And while you have that there, we're going to put on this panel here our adhesive. Double check to make sure that's all together. And voila. And you're going to show off this beautiful paper, beautiful designer series paper, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. And then we're going to put this strip of 1 inch by 5 1/4 for the inside. This is great too if you've got some, you know, leftover pieces from other cards that you've used. You can always put it on the inside, which is really nice, the top or the bottom. And it looks really nice. Just a nice little extra layer of pretty. Now let's go ahead and put our happy birthday sentiment right in the middle first, just like that. And then we're going to add our little greenery, which I do believe is Mossy Meadow. Alrighty. I did have these on, I don't think I did last week, but I try to save a little bit of time. And we're just going to add a little color there. And then these are delicate, so just be aware when you're going through and taking those little flat adhesive pieces. Just be careful. Oops, I almost ripped it by accident. Then it would have just had 1 leaf, and I guess that would have been okay too. All right. And then this one's gonna go just like that. And then this is the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots, which is part of this suite. And even though I had this one ready to go, I just want to give you guys an idea of what I did here. So I got the Blackberry Bliss Dark. I think that side's fine. Was it this side? Well, that side's good too. One of them, I can't remember which one, kind of messed up. So what I'm going to do is basically outline the flower. Just a nice dark outline. It must be the light Blackberry Bliss. I mean, it's like really, I don't know what I did with it. I should have kept it out here to share, but oh well. And then I've got Highland Heather Light. And this one, I'm just going to bring in some color. You always want, normally I would do the light first and then do the dark, but, well, maybe you can see that that's, well, not too bad. But they start to fray a little bit at the ends, especially if it's a color you use a lot. And then we've got our Mossy Meadow Dark. And with what I'm calling the pen or the marker side. Oh, let's see what this one looks like. Okay, this is the one where you can see. This is where it's really, really frayed. I mean, it's bizarre. I've got a piece of scratch. It makes it really hard to color, right? It's like really, I've used it a lot. So it's one of those things. That's why I'm using the pointed side. Oh, and then that happens. Of course, that's going to happen on camera. Let's try that again. I did order Well, it's in my shopping cart, I should say. Oh dear. I probably should have colored it first and then fiddled with it, but anywho, that's what I'm doing to color the sides. All right, I won't waste your time by fiddling with that one, but just know that is common. I mean, like I said, I've had these probably 6 years. I mean, I've had it for a while, so they do last, especially if you use them. So I had this one ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and use it for this one. And almost done with this dimensional pack. And then I'm going to put it right there. And you want to make sure, got some beautiful color. Make sure it's dry before you do this. Although it's fine if it smears a little bit. I like lots of bling. And that's the perfect addition, I think. Such a pretty little flower. Beautiful, beautiful colors. So next, we're going to use this really pretty and shimmery pink one. And we'll put that one like right in the middle. And then I'm going to get this small, looks like pretty in pink, for each side here. So pretty. It just adds an extra little something. Makes a boring card beautiful, right? So there's our first fun fold card. We're going to go ahead and put those in our box. As we make them, we're going to fill them up. And then this is another fun fold that nobody really needs a template for. And I'll show you why here in just a second. We're using Beautiful Timid Tiger, the new in color. And this one, again, it's really simple. Using that Paper Pumpkin add-on die cut piece. And I put a little something there, but you can't really see it. So I might put that one somewhere else. I haven't decided yet. But I think I'm going to leave the flower as is. And that's another little die cut piece. Let's see. This one right here. It's really nice. This Charming, is it Charming Day? Yep, Charming Day is absolutely gorgeous. And this is a simple fold. So this one is not a fun fold, but it's a simple fold, right? It's 11 by 4 1/4. And it is at the 5.5 inch mark. It's scored. So here's the paper. And again, it's directional. So before you glue, just double check your direction. And so this one is 4 inches, and I cut it at 1 inch so that I could basically flip it, because both sides of the paper is gorgeous, and this is a great way to show that off. And this one's going to go on the left side. I mean, this is beautiful paper. I'm really into the flower stuff. It's just so pretty. But this would work for any card, any designer paper that you have. I envision doing this with some of our Christmas cards, which we're going to do another Christmas workshop in August. So if you want to join us, I get everything ready to go. So you just come and craft and enjoy your time. Just let me know if you're interested and we'll get you a spot saved. Oh, I know I put that on there. That's okay. All right, let's go ahead and stamp our happy birthday. Blackberry Bliss, absolutely beautiful. You just apply a little bit of pressure and don't rock the block. I think I might have what I did earlier. I still have that over here. Okay, so what happens if you rock your block? You get a little line, and that's just from that red rubber. So just be aware when you're stamping to just apply nice even pressure and do not rock that block if you can help it. And this one too, we're going to put on dimensionals. In fact, we're going to grab another pack because we've used that one all up. There we go. But before we put that on, I just realized we need to put this one on. I think it was like this. Now I'm going to cheat and I'm going to put some, I say cheat, hopefully I don't rip it. You got to be real careful. All right, there we go. And then once I put everything down, if I have a few pieces that are kind of straying up a little, I can always put a glue dot like I did before. And I think the reason why I put a little bling was because I wanted to cover up that I used a dimensional. But that's okay. And then we want to put our little greenery piece, which die cuts and gives that vein in the leaf there, which is really cool. It's this one here. And again, when you run this one through, you poke the holes because you want to make sure that all the pieces come out, because if you go to rip it, sometimes it'll tear, because again, it's an intricate die and you just want to be a little careful with that. Oh goodness, let's see. Trying to be careful at the same time. There we go, 2 more to go here. I don't know about y'all, but I love to walk my puppy, but I have to wait until almost 8:30 because, mercy, it is warm here. I think it was like 104 when I got in my car. It was crazy, crazy hot. All right, here we go. I need to remember to put my phone on the airport mode because I don't think my phone's really refreshed. Hopefully we're still live. That's another thing too. I can't see too much from my phone. There we go. Isn't that pretty? It's so simple and easy too. That's another thing I love about fun folds and showing off your pretty designer paper. All right, so I'm just gonna put this one right there. And we're gonna put an embellishment to cover that up. I'm just undecided which one we should use. I did this clear one. Let's try this beautiful. Maybe that one looks better. I don't know. We'll do a small one right there. And then a big pink one right there. It's shimmery. Love those embellishments. Absolutely gorgeous. Another easy card. Yeah, I think that one looks much better. So now we've got 2 more to add to our box of cards, right? You could have 1 box for your cards and 1 for the envelopes if you wanted. And then I have 2 more. And then this one, sometimes when I get to cleaning, I realize, oh, I haven't done this fold in a long time. So this is what I did about 3 or 4 years ago. It was an alternative to a paper pumpkin. And it's a simple fold, right? A little DSP, a little cardstock for the base, folds out. My template that I have, same measurements, but adhered so that it opens from side to side. So when you have a fold like that, you can modify it to whatever you might need. You could actually, underneath the designer paper, or even under this piece here, you could have some ribbon that ties if you want. And open. So here's the measurements. The designer paper is 5 1/4 by 4. This white piece cardstock for the inside, for white, is 9 3/4 by 4 1/4. And on the 9 3/4 inch side, you're going to score it at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. And then of course this card base is basically a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And this is what I came up with. Happy birthday, and a nice accent right there. Plenty of room to write. Again, showing off this gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Ta-da! Look how pretty that is. You could die cut a tree and have the color already made. So lots that you can do with this kind of paper. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and adhere this one down. All right, we have tax-free weekend coming up in August. And that's when I plan to stock up on some of the, I guess, some of the colored pencils I haven't updated and different things like that. All right, so let's see, how do I want this to fold? There we go. And just move it around until you know exactly how you want it to sit on your paper. Mine's just the opposite. I'm still fiddling with it. Okay, I think this is good. All right. I would say eyeball it, but I kind of line it up on my grid. That just kind of gives me center point. Because I don't want to, I want it to be as close to centered as possible, but I mean, sometimes if you're off a little bit, hopefully that's not a big deal. Again, you can use tear and tape if you wanted. Just center this up. All right, there it is. And then we're going to stamp and color our flower, which I should have stamped first, but I can put it flat and stamp here. I do want to share with you a couple of things before we do that. Again, when I'm playing around, I don't always know what color of green I'm going to use, or if it's going to be a marker or a colored pencil or the blends. As you can see, the blends will show through. The colored pencils won't, and that looks good too. Colored pencils work. This is with the marker. And so, let's see. So I decided to use our markers. And I am using Old Olive and the new Timid Tiger. This one was Peacock, and it was just a little too dark. I liked the Old Olive color. All right, so we're going to stamp our flower in Memento ink. And this is red rubber, so I don't see exactly where I'm stamping, but it's really close. Probably need to re-ink this one as well. And I have it this direction in the corner. And like that one. There we go. And it's a little light, and that's fine because we're going to color it. And happy birthday is going to be right in the middle. I didn't realize I did all birthday cards. All three are birthday. Oh, well. I think I might be a little tad behind on some of my birthdays, so maybe I should. Maybe it's a sign I need to send some out. All right. Oh, and another thing, I should just go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it, just share with you guys. So here we have this beautiful paper, like I said before, right? Gorgeous. Did you know if you don't have time to color and you just want to stamp, die cut, and adhere and go, you could totally do something like that. So you've got the color on there already, maybe come back with a colored pencil or something. But that's another thing that you can do with some of these little pieces of DSP. Maybe they sit around, you have a pile of them. That's a great way to use some of that designer paper. Really pretty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and color the flower first with the marker side and somewhat flat. And I'm trying to stay in the lines. This is where I would forward if I knew how to do that. Make sure you're all in the picture here. Timid Tiger, such a pretty color. Now typically, I probably should have done, now that I think about this, since you're using marker, really the best ink would have been not the Memento, but the StampinUp. Because this, you can kind of maybe see, I don't know if it comes out on the camera, that the StampinUp bleeds a little bit with the marker, with the markers. Because the markers are water-based, right? Water-based. And the blends are alcohol-based, which is why you use the Memento. So I'm curious if you're on Facebook while I'm live. In the comments, let me know what it is that you're looking or hoping that the new holiday mini catalog will have. What kind of set are you looking for? I'm excited to see what all is going to be available. Of course, something with snowflakes I think would be fun. Maybe some more shimmery, shiny paper. That's always a fun medium of paper to work with. And you just want to try to stay in the lines. And then, you know, like I said, if you wanted to do the colored pencils, sometimes that's quick and easy too. And then if by chance you didn't stay in the line, well, you know, this is a handmade card. And then of course you can always use the marker side, but to me that's like super fine, which is why I just kept with the brush. I'm calling it the brush side. It's hard to concentrate and talk sometimes. There is a stamp set that's currently available that carried over from last year, which is a beautiful, one of my favorites. I believe it's called Shepherd's Care. But maybe, just maybe, they'll have some coordinating, something coordinating with some of the dies. I think that would be marvelous. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put this beautiful flower on the inside. And again, I'm going to be real careful. Add just a little bit of adhesive here and there. Just like that. And it's going to be fine. You don't need to worry about a lot of adhesive on that one. And then, hopefully that marker has dried, but we want to bring in that Wink of Stella and give it some more shine because it's so pretty. And I realized this one I didn't put any other bling, which may be why I decided to go ahead with the Wink of Stella. Isn't that pretty? It's a simple, easy card that's replicatable. So we're going to put that one on. So now we've got, that's 6 cards, and we have one more. And this one is completely 100% my own design. This one here. And I wanted to use those new dies, the arch dies, which are fabulous. And I'm going to show you how I did that. I used the biggest arched die. And you're going to need your trimmer, because I didn't do this. Like I said, there's some things I just want to share with you so that you kind of know what I did. The straight side, I went in at the half mark and scored it. So it's scored at the half mark. And again, there's a bunch of really cool designs out there using this, the dies. And this one, you probably want to use tear and tape. And I don't know, I need to figure out something up here. My husband said that would look better if it opened like that. So you could have it open this direction. You could also have it open this direction. Again, showing off that gorgeous paper. And then this one, because I did a 1/2 inch, I want to say it was 1, 2, 3, the 4th one in. Yep, the 4th one in, so that it would fit. And again, I've got this one I've been working on, a box that'll hold some treats in it. So that's just the beginning of something I'm going to share later. Again, my own design. There's so many different ones out there that have fun folds, and I thought, why not use your die set to make your own fun fold? What do you think about that? Now, I'm not going to have that middle piece on this one, just because I'm curious to see what everybody thinks about it. But isn't that pretty? And really, I could turn it this direction. I kind of hate to cover that up, but let's go ahead and continue with this direction here. It's probably easier to put these pieces on now. And this is from the Impressions of Bloom die cut. And I think tear and tape is going to be the best for this one. I can tell my original is starting to come apart. So let's just do the tear and tape. It's going to go on the inside. Here we go. Basically, these two are going to marry each other. Try to be careful. Just like that. And just give it a nice firm press, and voila. So my original, I had this little piece on the middle, but it just kind of, I don't know. And then we're going to put this one on the inside. And I think these dies are temporarily unavailable. They will come in. They've been kind of like really popular. I don't know. I can't pinpoint what I saw exactly, but I put off not getting them, and I'm so glad I finally did. They were really popular in March when they first came out. I think I saw a bunch of beautiful fun folds with this one, and some Easter die type scenario, beautiful cards like that. But I foresee a lot of fun coming from these, especially on my end, because I'm playing with this one a lot. And then, of course, I use my clear block H to help hold it in place because it wants to go everywhere. And then I'm just going to kind of cross this one a little bit. And the rose is down this direction, so I think I want my sentiment a little bit higher. And so that's how you do that there. I have two die cut like this because what if I don't like how it stamps. You can always turn it over, but a lot of times it's easier just to stamp and then die cut it out, especially if it's close like that one. And another happy birthday. Just give it a second to soak in. All right, that works. And the trick is not rocking your block. All right. And this one's going to be on dimensionals since we've got some ribbon. This is an easy way to kind of hold it all down and together. So hopefully after all last week and this week, you'll probably put this one on your list when it becomes available again. Now I'm going to get my ribbon scissors and trim just a tiny little bit. Because, you know, this gorgeous ribbon, it will sometimes fray. And this was a carryover as well. Gold and silver trim combo. It's silver and gold. I think I've used more gold than I have silver, but I foresee lots of beautiful cards with that beautiful ribbon. My own design and creation. Hopefully you love it. And then this one, I think again, we're going to bring in, I thought I used the in colors, but I'm using these again. These are gorgeous. We're going to use this gorgeous blue, Misty Moonlight perhaps. It's got gold specks in it. And I think this is a pretty pink or flamingo something, maybe. But it's so pretty. It's got those gorgeous gold flecks in there. And an Athena original. So see, I used tear and tape, and then this one it's coming up because I used seal instead of tear and tape. So I'll probably take that middle piece out and it'll just open up just like that. My husband's like, oh, what about some pretty designer paper here? Well, yeah, you probably could, but I was kind of getting low. I only bought one pack of this paper and I've been using it a lot for some of the others. So there's our cards for tonight. The fun fold using the gorgeous dies. And you can do 1 inch, you could do a 1/2 inch, even a 1/4 inch. It just, you know, depends on the project that you want to do. And like I said, I did 1 inch on this one, and I had a box that a design that I wanted to do, and I'm gonna put some treats in it, and I'll finish this one next week and share that with y'all, because I think next week I'm going to try to do the July paper pumpkin. I've had a lot of fun kind of petering around with that one and playing with it. And our other fun fold. Again, showing off some of this gorgeous paper. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. We'll see you next week with some more beautiful designs and fun folds, because you guys know I love me a fun fold and all the things and boxes and fun things. So we'll see you next week. Happy stamping.